Lesson 46. 46th lesson. Part 1. Commerce and industry in the United States. The United States is one of the most important commercial and trading nations in the world. She sells more goods abroad than she buys. Her exports exceed her imports. Being a great agricultural country, there is a large surplus of food supplies to sell abroad. Many essential raw materials are imported, such as wool from Australia, tin from Bolivia, rubber from Malaya, and scarce metals from other places. Wine and luxury products are imported from Norway. Wine and luxury products are imported from Norway, Sweden, Finland, France, Italy, Spain, and Great Britain. Cheeses from Denmark and Holland, and so on. One of the biggest businesses is the automotive industry. Many cars and trucks are made and exported, as well as machine tools and other steel products. Virginia tobacco and cigarettes are also in great demand in other countries. Another leading industry in this country is petroleum. Oil and gasoline are shipped all over the world. I should like to speak to...
Have you an appointment?
Gray, if he's... I should like to speak to Mr. Gray if he's not busy.
Have you an appointment? Have you an appointment? Have you an appointment?
No, but here's my card.
Have you an appointment?
No, but here's my card. If you'll be kind enough to take it in, I'm sure he'll see me.
He's on the phone just now. He's on the phone just now. Would you mind waiting a few minutes? Would you mind waiting a few minutes? Come this way, please.
Good morning, Mr. Brown. Take a seat, please. What can I do for you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have a proposition to put before you. I think you know my firm, Macmillan and Company Limited of Adelaide, South Australia.
Oh, yep. Oh, yes, I know the name very well. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I know the name very well. The pleasure of doing any business, but I've never had the pleasure of doing any business with you.
No. Well, my company has a big distributing business with branches all over Australia and New Zealand. We want to get into touch with a good shipping firm in New York, such as yours. The idea being that you should act as our agents and handle all our business on this side.
And what about terms of payment and the other essential conditions?
Well, we propose to allow you a 2.5% commission on all business transactions. You would have to attend to the shipment of all goods and arrange for the prices to include shipping or in some cases FOB. We're accustomed to paying in 90 days. What do you think of it?
Well, I think some such arrangement would suit us very well. But I can't enter into an agreement or make a definite decision without discussing the matter with my partner. Will you get me Central 65510, please? Hello, is that you, Jim? Hello. Hello. Is that you, Jim? I've just had a promising proposition, and I should like to talk with you about it. Talk Talk with you about it. Can you come to the office right away? Good. Lesson 47. Lesson 47. 47th lesson. Part 1. Part 1. Doctor, dentist, and druggist. If you have a toothache, you should go to your dentist. He'll examine your teeth, and if the aching tooth is not too far gone, he'll fill it. Too far gone. Not too far gone. And if the aching tooth is not too far gone, far gone, he'll fill it. If it's too bad, he'll pull it out. If it's too bad, he'll pull it out. If you don't feel well, you should consult a doctor. If you feel too ill to go to the doctor's, you'll have to send for him. He'll ask you to describe to him the symptoms of your illness. Then he'll feel your pulse, look at your tongue, and examine you thoroughly. Finally, he'll prescribe the treatment and write out a prescription. Doctor's prescriptions are filled by a druggist. At drugstores, you can also get patent medicines of all kinds, lotions, tonics, cough mixtures, baby foods, aspirin, pills, ointment, cough mixtures, baby foods, aspirin, pills, pills. Ointment, bandages, adhesive tape, and so on. You can buy razors and razor blades. So on. Tape, and so on. You can buy razors and razor blades, and so on. You can buy razors and razor blades, vacuum bottles, hot water bottle, hot water bottle, hot water bottles, sponges, toothbrushes and toothpastes, powder puffs, lipsticks, shaving soap and shaving brushes, and 101 other things. If you're interested in photography, you can also get cameras and films at most drugstores. They'll develop and print your films for you, too. Most of them will have a soda fountain and a lunch counter, where you can get a quick snack if you wish.
Part 2. A visit to the doctor.
Well, what's the matter with you, Mr. Walker? Well, what's the matter with you, Mr. Walker? What's the matter with you? You, Mr. Walker.
You'd better ask me what's not the matter with me, Doctor. I seem to be suffering from all the illnesses imaginable. Insomnia, headaches, insomnia, headaches, insomnia, headaches, backache, indigestion, constipation, 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 and pains in the stomach. To make things still worse, I've caught a cold. I've caught a cold. I've got a sore throat, and I'm constantly sneezing and coughing. To crown it all, I had an accident the other day. Hurt my right shoulder. Broke my neck. Leg and knee, and nearly broke my neck. Hurt my right shoulder. Leg and knee, and nearly broke my neck. If I take a long walk, I get short of breath. In fact, I feel more dead than alive. In fact, I feel more dead. In fact, I feel more dead than alive.
I'm sorry to hear it.
In fact, I feel more dead than alive.
I'm sorry to hear it. Let me examine you. Your heart, chest, and lungs seem to be all right. Now open your mouth and show me your tongue. Now breathe in deeply through the nose. Deeply through the nose. There doesn't seem to be... There doesn't seem to be anything radically wrong with you, but it's quite clear that you're run down. It's quite clear that you're run down. And if you don't take care of yourself, you may have a If you don't take care of yourself, you may have a nervous breakdown. If you don't take care of yourself, you may have a nervous breakdown and have to go to the hospital. I advise you, first of all, take a long rest. Take a long rest. Have regular meals. Keep to a diet of salads and fruit. Keep off alcohol. Keep off alcohol. If possible, give up smoking, at least for a time. If If possible, give up smoking. At least for a time. Have the druggist make up the prescription and take 2 tablespoonfuls 3 times a day. Four meals. If you do this, I can promise you full recovery within 2 or 3 months.
And if I don't, doctor?
Then you'd better make your will if you haven't already done it.
Well, thank you, doctor. Well, thank you, doctor.
Lesson 48. Lesson 48. Lesson 48. 48 lessons. Part 1. Radio and television. Two of the most important discoveries ever made by man are radio and television. By means of radio, you can speak to a man on the other side of the world. Seated comfortably in your own home, you can hear programs broadcast thousands of miles away. Programs ranging from talks on international affairs to symphony concerts. I use the shortwave on my radio a good deal to keep up with my foreign languages. I find it a very useful addition to my Linguaphone course. For English, I tune to England or North America. For French to France, for Dutch to Holland, for German to Germany or Austria, for Russian to Russia, for Spanish and Portuguese to Latin America, and for Italian to Italy. As a medium for education and entertainment, there is also, of course, television. And in millions of homes, TV occupies the place once held by radio. With it, we are not only able to listen to talks, plays, concerts, and variety shows, but also to see what's going on. Who knows what the future may bring? Who knows what the future may bring? It's possible that some clever scientist will invent an apparatus which will enable us to read other people's thoughts. It's possible that some clever scientist will invent an apparatus which will enable us to read other people's thoughts. That happened, some people might feel uncomfortable. Some people might feel uncomfortable.
Oh, well.
Part 2. Part 2. Part 2. Part 2. Part 2. Part 2.
Radio program.
Oh, not too bad, Mr. Dorwell.
Well, how's your television working?
Oh, Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Though I've had some difficult. Though I've had some difficult. Though I've had some difficult. Though I've had. Though I've had. Though I've had some difficult. Though I've had. Suppose it's mine's an old model compared to yours. Compared an old. Mine's an old model compared to yours. Of course, mine. Of course, mine's an old model compared to yours. By the way, did you see Il Trovatore the other night? Did you see Il Trovatore the other night?
Yes, 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 I did. First, my wife is, especially Italian opera. So I didn't like to suggest changing to another program. Fortunately for me, it was an English version. I'm not good at languages, you know.
What kind of program do you like best then?
Oh, I like a straight play. I like a straight play. I find some of the talks very interesting too, and I never miss the sporting events. I had a wonderful Saturday. You listen to the South American stations on your radio a good deal, don't you?
Yes, I like their programs very much, and I understand nearly everything. With all the practice and ear training I've had, Spanish and Portuguese pronunciation and intonation hold no terror. Hold no terror. Hold no terror. If a speaker uses a word I'm not familiar with, the context usually gives a clue to the meaning.
You're lucky. I wish I had your gift for languages.
Lesson 49. 49th lesson. Part 1. Theaters and movies. Theaters are very much the same in New York as anywhere else. The chief theaters and movies are on Broadway. If you're staying in New York for a few days, you'll have no difficulty whatever in finding somewhere to spend an enjoyable evening. You'll find opera, ballet, comedy, drama, musical comedy, and vaudeville. The movies are open most of the day. The best seats at theaters are those in the orchestra and mezzanine. Balcony seats are cheaper. Boxes are no more expensive than orchestra seats, except at the opera. And you ought to make a point of going to the opera at least once during the season. There you can get the best of everything. An excellent orchestra, famous conductors, celebrated singers, and a well-dressed audience. But of course, if you're not fond of music and singing, opera won't interest you. The opera. Get your seat beforehand, either at the box office of the theater itself or at one of the agencies. When you go to a theater, you'll probably want to sit as near the stage as possible. But if you're at the movies, you may prefer to sit some distance from the screen. Two at the theater. Have you any seats for tomorrow? Have you any seats for tomorrow?
Matinee or evening performance?
Matinee, please. I want 2 in the orchestra, if you have them.
Yes, you can have 2 in the middle of row S.
They'll do very well, thank you. How much are they?
They're $4 each, plus 80 cents tax. That makes $9.60.
Men's check room this way, ladies' check room on the first landing. Show your tickets to the usher inside. She'll show you to your seats and give you a program.
May I see your tickets, please? Row F, 12 and 13. This way, please. Here's your program.
Thank you. Do you serve tea at intermission?
No, sir. I'm sorry, we don't. There's a bar in the lounge that is open between acts.
Thank you. Well, what did you think of the play?
I enjoyed every minute of it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was splendid. I haven't laughed so much for a long time.
Neither have I, and I thought the acting was excellent.
So did I. The whole thing was really first rate. Lesson 50, 50th lesson. A few words about American literature. The wealth of American literature makes it impossible to deal with the subject within the scope of one short lesson. We must therefore confine ourselves to only a few outstanding writers. Who has not heard, for instance, of Ralph Waldo Emerson or Oliver Wendell Holmes, two of the greatest essayists in American literature? Then, too, there are many famous dramatists whose plays are widely known. Eugene O'Neill, whose greatest work is Morning Becomes Electra. Thornton Wilder, who wrote Skin of Our Teeth and Our Town. And Robert Sherwood, a playwright who achieved success with The Petrified Forest and Idiot's Delight. Idiot's Delight. The works of American novelists have been translated into some people who don't know English are familiar with American writers. Yet it's only those who are able to read these novels in the original who can really appreciate such works as Moby Dick by Herman Melville or Main Street and Babbitt by Sinclair Lewis. We must also mention the great imaginative stories of Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. The adventure stories of Bret Harte and the humorous stories and satiric novels of Mark Twain, whose Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn will always be attractive to both children and adults. Among other outstanding American writers are Henry D., Willa Cather, Eudora Welty, and Ernest Hemingway. American poetry covers such a wide field that we can do little more than enumerate a few names. Walt Whitman is well known for his Leaves of Grass, and Longfellow for his two famous epics, Hiawatha and Evangeline. Among our other poets are Whittier, Thoreau, Emily Dickinson, Sandburg, Lindsay, Amy Lowell, and Robert Frost. Here is a poem by Longfellow which may encourage you to delve more deeply into the rich heritage of our literature, whether it be prose or verse. The Arrow and the Song. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth. Fell to earth. I knew not where. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth. I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not. It fell to earth. I knew not where. Sight keen and strong, that it can follow the flight of a song. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of a song? Long afterward in an oak, I found the arrow, still unbroke. And the song, from beginning to end, I found again in the heart of a friend. I found again in the heart of a friend.
Lesson 38. Lesson 38. Lesson 38. 38th lesson. Buying cigarettes. No. I should like some cigarettes, please. I should like some cigarettes, please.
What kind would you like? What kind would you like? American, Turkish, English. American, Turkish, English.
Well, I think I should like to try some of each, and then I can decide which I like best.
How many do you want? How many do you want? How many do you want?
I really don't know. Popular brand and one of English. Which kind do you recommend?
If I were you, I'd try these. Try these. They're not expensive. They're good quality, rather mild, and they won't hurt your throat.
All right, I'll take those. And I'd like a box of matches too.
Certainly. How about some pipe tobacco? You can buy it by the can or by the ounce. You can buy it by the can or by the ounce.
Why are you? No thanks. No thank you.
Well, may I suggest a good Havana cigar? Why?
Well, I do enjoy a good cigar now and then, but aren't they rather expensive?
We have them at various prices. This one, for instance, is quite good and costs only 25 cents.
All right, I'll try it. Let me have half a dozen, please. Oh, I nearly forgot. I should like a few flints for my lighter. And now add it all up and tell me how much I owe you.
Let me see. That'll be $2.22 with the tax.
Here you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Lesson 39. 39th lesson. The barber shop and the beauty shop. The hairdresser and the barber are important members of the community. Everybody, male and female, old and young, requires their attention regularly. Men must have their hair cut. Men must have their hair cut. If they have beards or mustaches, they must have them trimmed. Mustaches, they have beards or mustaches, they must have them trimmed. Those who don't shave themselves must be shaved by the barber. Women must have their hair cut or waved at a beauty shop. Here you see the inside of a barber shop. The proprietor's busy cutting somebody's hair. Someone else is being shaved. There are several customers sitting on the bench waiting their turn. One of them's reading a newspaper. Another customer's just about to leave the shop. He's just had a haircut and he's just had a haircut and a shampoo as well. An assistant is brushing his overcoat. He will expect a tip, of course. I always shave myself with a safety razor. My brother shaves with an electric razor. Most people shave every day. When we're lazy, we only shave every other day. When we're lazy, we only shave every other day. I suppose you shave yourself too, don't you? I always think a man ought to shave himself. I always think a man ought to shave himself. Personally, I don't like having my cheeks and chin covered with lather by someone else. Personally, I don't like having my cheeks and chin covered with lather by someone else. Besides, it's much more convenient and incidentally cheaper to shave yourself at home rather than to have to waste time going to the barber shop. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Don't you agree?
Lesson 40th lesson. I barber shop.
Good afternoon, sir. What can I do for you?
Haircut and shave, please. I should also like a manicure.
Take a seat, please. You won't have to wait long. You're next, sir. A manicurist will soon be free. In the meantime, I'll cut your hair. Do you want it short or just trimmed?
Not too short.
Very good. How's that? Very good. How's that? What was that? How's that?
Just right. Just right. Just right. Thank you.
Your hair is rather dry, sir. Your hair is rather dry, sir, and it's getting a bit thin on top. Your hair is rather dry, sir, and it's getting a bit thin on top, too. Sir, and it's getting a bit thin on top, too. The shampoo will do it a lot of good.
Very well. Very well.
And now for the shave.
Yes. Yes, but be careful. My skin's rather tender. Careful. My skin's rather tender.
You needn't worry. I've only cut a customer once. I've only cut a customer once. He jerked his head suddenly, and I cut his chin. He jerked. He jerked his head suddenly, and I cut his chin. There was a little blood, but nothing to speak of. Yeah. I soon stopped bleeding. There you are, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, you have a beauty parlor here, haven't you? My wife wants a permanent. Could I make an appointment for her tomorrow at 3 o'clock?
Just a minute. I'll find out. Yes, that'll be... Yes, that'll be quite all right.
And now, how much do I owe you?
That'll be $2.50 altogether.
Here's $3. Here's $3. Here's $3. Keep the change. Keep the change. Change.
Thank you, sir.
Lesson 41, 41st lesson. The seasons. The year is divided into 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall or autumn, and winter. In spring, nature awakens from her long winter sleep. The earth is warmed by the rays of the sun, and the weather gets gradually milder. The fields and the meadows are covered with fresh green grass. The woods and forests are filled with the songs of birds. The sky is blue and cloudless. At night, millions of stars shine in the darkness. When summer comes, the weather gets warmer still, and sometimes it's very hot. It's the farmer's busy season, morning till night. The grass must be cut and the hay must be made while the dry weather lasts. Sometimes the skies are overcast with heavy clouds. Sometimes the skies are overcast with heavy clouds. There are storms with thunder, lightning, and lightning, and hail. The fall brings with it the harvest time when the crops are gathered in and the fruit is picked in the orchards. The days get shorter and the nights longer. The woods turn red, yellow, and brown. Leaves begin to fall from the trees. The skies are gray and very often it rains. When winter comes, we're obliged to spend. We may get fog, snow, because out of doors it's cold. We may get fog, snow, sleet, frost. Ponds, lakes, rivers, and streams are frozen, and the roads are sometimes covered with slippery ice or deep snow. The trees are bare. Bitter north winds have stripped them of all their leaves.
Lesson 42. 42nd lesson. Sports and games.
What would you say are the most popular games in the United States today?
Well, I suppose baseball, football, and basketball.
What are the other outdoor games?
There's tennis, hockey, golf, and so on. Tennis is played all the year round on hard courts or grass courts in summer, and on hard or covered courts in winter.
What about horse racing? What about horse racing?
It's one of the most popular sports in the United States. And there are, of course, running, swimming, wrestling, and boxing.
I understand that winter sports are very popular.
Yes, you see, in many parts of the country, the weather is severe, and as a rule, we have a chance to ski, skate, or toboggan. We love ice hockey.
Is there any golf to be had near New York? Is there any golf to be had near New York?
Oh yes, there. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes. There are dozens of downtown.
About indoor games?
Well, there's chess, billiards, and pool, cards, table tennis. By the way, do you play billiards?
Well, I do, but of course I'm not a professional or a champion, just an ordinary amateur, and professional. I'm not a professional or a champion, just an ordinary amateur, and never not a very good one at that. Not a professional or a champion, Just an ordinary amateur, and not a very good one at that. Good one at that.
Lesson 43. 43rd lesson, part 1. A vacation in the country. A vacation in the country. If you want to have a really quiet and healthy vacation, you must go and stay on a farm. Last year, we went to my brother-in-law's farm in Virginia and enjoyed ourselves immensely. But the farmer's life, though healthy, is by no means an easy one. There's always plenty to do. He must look after his barns and his horses. He must milk the cows and clean the cowshed. He has to take great care of the young animals, the lambs and the calves. Goats and sheep must be fed and pigs fattened. You can see the pigs in their pen and the ewes with their lambs in the sheepfold. Then somebody has to go round the hen houses to gather the eggs. Roosters and hens, ducks and drakes, turkeys and geese, turkeys and geese must all be fed and fattened for the market. We all like to have a roast turkey for we all like to have a roast turkey for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, don't we? When we stay at my brother-in-law's, but we don't mind, we really enjoy weather's nice. In the old days, most of the work on a farm was done by hand and with the aid of horses. But now, things are altogether different. Plowing and harvesting are done with a tractor. Eggs are taken to market in trucks. Cows are milked by electricity, and chickens are hatched in incubators. So you see, a farmer's life is not what it used to be. On the farm.
What time do you have to get up when you're staying at the farm?
About 6 o'clock. About 6 o'clock.
Get up when you have to time. What time do you have to get up?
6 o'clock. About 6 o'clock. About 6 o'clock. About 6 o'clock.
Why must you get up so early? Why must you get up so early? Why must you get up so early? Why must you get up so early?
Well, there's such a lot.
Are you going to country next summer?
I expect so.
It must be a delightful change for you after living all the year in the city.
Yes, it is. Life in the country is so peaceful. It's so nice to feel that you don't have to rush for a train every morning.
Don't you have to work very hard on a farm? Don't you have to work very hard on a farm?
We can if we want to, but there's always work that mustn't be neglected, so we do what we can to help.
Well, I've never spent a holiday on a farm, so I don't know what it's like.
Haven't you really? Haven't you really? Haven't you really? Really? Oh, you ought to. Oh, you ought to. Come with us next year. You needn't be afraid that you'll have to work too hard.
I'd love to, but are you sure I shan't be in the way?
Of course you will. Of course you won't. Of course you won't. And I'm sure you will enjoy a week or two in the open air. Personally, I've always wanted to be a farmer.
Have you really? but it's not a very profitable way of earning a living, is it? Very profitable way of earning a living, is it?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Why? Oh, I don't know. I think you can find rich men and poor men just as much in farming as in any other occupation. Lesson 40. Lesson 44. 44th lesson. Part 1. At the seashore. If you're going to stay in the United States for some time, you ought to spend at least a week at the seashore. If you can stay longer, so much the better. You ought to have no difficulty in finding a comfortable hotel or boarding house. The picture shows you what a beach resort is like. You can see several people in swimming suits. One of the swimmers is just running in from the ocean to his bathhouse. He ought to be very health strong. If he swims every day, or strong if he swims every day, or strong if he swims every day, strong if he swims every day, strong if he swims every day, oughtn't he? When we were children, we used to enjoy playing on the beach, making castles and forts and channels in the sand. I expect you did the same when you were young. It's a wonderful vacation for children. We used to love playing on the sand and paddling in the water and getting splashed with the waves. Sometimes we get our clothes wet, and Mother would get very cross and tell us we oughtn't to go so far into the water. When you're tired of New York, go down to the shore for a week or two. When you're tired of New York, go down to the shore for a week or two. You can walk up and down the beach, listen to the band on the boardwalk, and do more or less anything you please. And do more or less anything you please. If you want to swim, you can rent a bathhouse. A swim now and then will do you a lot of good. Take your car with you, if you've got one. Choose a good hotel, and you're sure to have a very good time. Part 2. Planning a vacation.
By the way, what are you and your family going to do for your vacation this year?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to please everybody. What are you doing?
We'll go to the seashore. We'll go to the seashore. We'll go to the seashore, I expect, for part of the time anyway. Then my wife and I may go off alone for a week or so in the car.
Leaving the rest of the family behind, I suppose.
Oh yes, they'll be quite safe with me. And besides, they're ever so much happier playing about on the sand than spending long days in the car.
Where do you go, as a rule?
London in New Jersey. On the whole, I think we prefer Long Island. However, it really doesn't seem to matter very much, so long as the youngsters have a good sandy beach.
What do you do? Rent a cottage? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Rent a cottage or stay at a hotel or what? Cottage? Stay at a hotel or what?
We've done both.
Rent a cottage or stay at a hotel or what?
We've done both, and this year we're taking a furnished cottage. Why don't you decide to join us? Find a house nearby and make a large party. It'll be lots of fun.
I should love it. My wife has said something about going to England this year, but I'll tell her your idea and see what she thinks about it.
Do. And let me know if you can.
Right, I will. Lesson 45. 45th lesson. Part 1. Motoring. If you're thinking of taking your car to the United States, you should be familiar with the vocabulary of motoring, and you should know something about the driving rules. For instance, when driving, we keep to the right-hand side of the road, and we pass on the left. We have a speed limit of 25 miles an hour in towns and built-up areas, so be careful not to exceed it. And remember to keep an eye on the traffic light. If the green light's showing, it means you can go. You must stop at once. But when the light turns red, you must stop at once. A yellow light means caution. Let's take a look at the car in the picture. It's an 8-cylinder, 160 horsepower to the back for luggage, the spare tire, the tools, and the jack. The gas tank holds 18 gallons, and the car does about 17 miles to the gallon. Now learn the names of the various parts: frame, hood, body, wheels, tires, radiator, the windshield wipers. On the dashboard are the speedometer, the gas gauge, starter, and so on. The clutch, the brake, and the speed. The gear shift lever is on the steering post, and the emergency brake is within reach of his hand.
If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drum.
Part 2. Trouble with the car. Trouble with the car.
I can't tell you exactly what's the matter with it, but it's been giving me a lot of trouble. I've nearly run the battery down, trying to start and in the end I had to use the crank. I've cleaned and tested the plugs, and the carburetor seems to be okay. Will you try to find out what's wrong?
Certainly. Just park the car over there, and I'll get the mechanic to look it over. If you'll come back in about an hour, we'll let you know.
Well, have you...
Nothing serious. The pipe leading from the pump's leaking, and we can soon put in a new one.
Good. And at the same time, will you please have the battery charged and the oil changed, and have the car greased? And I have a flat in the spare tire. Please fix it. And check the tire pressure all around. The brakes need tightening, so you better test and adjust them. The left front fender and the bumper need straightening too. They got damaged when the car skidded on a wet road and hit a lamppost. Oh, and the rear light needs a new bulb. Give the car a thorough checkup and let me know when it's ready.
was looked up, and he was looked, and he was and he was looked up, and he what's the reason? What's the reason? What's the reason? What's the reason?